People will remain the same until the pain of staying the same exceeds the pain of changing. You're at home, everything's fine, things are going great, and then the power goes out. Can you change? This channel is about inspiring you to change your life forever. It always has been. Being self-sufficient and self-reliant puts you in control, and I enjoy helping you live your dream. This is a new video for me, a different style. Thank you, Damien. I'm kind of winging it in this video. Normally I write a script and basically say it word for word in my videos. And today it's like, here we go. So please, after you've watched the video, let me know in the comments which style you like, winging it or scripted. So why don't we like change? Change is hard. We all know that we should change. We all know we should lose weight. We all know we should eat better. We all know we should exercise. We all know we should save money. And the experts have all kinds of reasons explaining why we do it. But hey, facts don't help. We know what we know, and yet we still don't change. It really needs to be inspired. We need someone or something to kick us in the inspired so that we make the change. For example, like in the opening, we don't plan or want or expect a power failure, but when it happens, when that change occurs, we deal with it. We're dealing with a lot of rain here. Normally it's, you get your rain and you get your dry weather. It has been raining for days. We have a blue kiddie pool that 3 or 4 days ago was completely empty. Now it's overflowing. I'm here on the porch trying to video, and it's raining everywhere. So, and I hate filming inside, so I got to deal with the rain. I deal with the change. Which reminds me, this is a story. This is true. In January of 1998, Maine had an ice storm. One of those once-in-a-lifetime storms that seem to happen about every 2 or 3 months. So they had this terrible ice storm, and we were lucky. We were only without power for about a day. But a family of a friend of ours, his name was John, and his wife Susan, and they have 2 kids, and they were, adolescents at the time, and Josh and Becky. So this family, they lost their power, and they were without power for 3 weeks. So at the first, it was awful. You know how families are. You're a family, but dad's doing his thing, going to work, coming home, sitting in his recliner, watching TV. Mom's doing her thing. Household, shopping, getting the kids ready for school, all those domestic responsibilities that a mom has. And the kids, they're typical kids. The son comes home from school, Josh comes home, and he goes to his room and plays video games. Now this was 1998. We didn't, the internet was new. We didn't have cell phones and Facebook and Twitter, but kids were still the same. And Becky would be in her room doing her thing. So even though you've got a family of 4 people, dad's in the living room doing his thing, mom's in the kitchen doing her thing, and Josh and Becky are in their rooms doing their thing. 4 people completely separated. Thank you, technology. So the ice storm comes, they're without power, and the kids are freaking out. They don't know what to do. So, the first few days, it's like detoxing. They are just unbelievable. Of course, dad still has to go to work. Mom's got to do what she does. And it was, a couple of days. The kids were back in school. So even though they had no power, their life was continuing. So they were inspired to change, not because they wanted to, but because they had no choice. And the interesting thing was, They couldn't go to their rooms because it would be pitch dark, and it's January, so it's dark all the time up in Maine. So the kids, they had to hang around in the kitchen, in the dining room. They had oil lamp, and they started doing things like playing cards, playing Uno and Yahtzee and board games. And they started spending time together. They actually ate their meals together, and they talked, and they were really kind of like old-fashioned family. And they were getting along, and they changed. What's amazing about it is how quickly they changed. Now, at the end of the 3 weeks, it was coming up on a weekend, and the kids actually planned this whole fun day of activities because they had no power. So it was kind of like a frontier day. They were going to do things old-fashioned. And the interesting thing is that power actually came back on. And so they were at home, and they were all disappointed and crying, and they had this big day planned. Dad actually went downstairs and turned the power off on the circuit breaker, and they had their no power frontier family day. So think about that. They went from having power to adapting to having no power in less than 3 weeks. They were actually looking forward to not having their power. So we can change. So if people are afraid to give up their city life for a country life, if you want to be self-sufficient, but you're not sure how, and you're scared to do it, you're afraid to, I don't know if I can change. Think of that family. Think of John and Susan and Becky and Josh, and how quickly they changed. Because when you have to, you do. That's the nice thing about us humans, is we adapt really well. So if you're inspired to be self-sufficient and self-reliant, if you're inspired to homestead, give it a try, because you will adapt. If you have to deal with the power going out, you'll deal with it. If you have to deal with it raining, you deal with it. If you have to deal with the interruptions of guineas chirping and roosters crowing while you're trying to film a video, you deal with it. And that's just life. So let me know what you think. This winging it video. Tank here's curious. He's been making the camera shake the whole time, if you've been wondering why the camera's wiggling. He's rubbing my legs and rubbing the tripod. So live life DIY. You can do it. Don't be afraid to change. And remember, this channel is about inspiring you to change your life forever. Be self-sufficient. Be self-reliant. You are in control. And I enjoy helping you live your dream.